everyone, welcome to Lecture 4 of Theories on Crowd Behaviour. Today we're going to do a very quick recap and consider where we go from here. We're going to begin with our contagion theories, and the first of those is Le Bon. Le Bon's crowd was irrational and pathological. Upon entering the crowd, upon becoming one with the crowd, individuals lost their sense of identity, became highly open to suggestion, and subject to contagion. Our other contagion theory is de-individuation. When people join a crowd, they experience an information processing overload, a loss of self-awareness or a lowered sense of self-awareness, and individuals are then directed by external stimuli, and the outcome is either pro-social or antisocial behavior. And whether the behavior is pro-social or antisocial is dependent upon the external stimuli present. Unlike Le Bon, there's no consideration of the power of group or mass action. So both of these models provide intrapersonal explanations for social phenomenon. That is, that they try to explain phenomena with regards to what is happening inside a person's head, and both separate the individual from society. Norm emergence theory, on the other hand, looks at how crowd events are shaped by collective norms emerging in the situation itself. The role of keynoters and deliberation is stressed, and a social explanation is provided for social behavior, but it is rooted in the individual and in the actions of the keynoters. The focus is on microsocial interactions, and macrosocial interactions are not taken into account. And this produces an inter-individual or interpersonal account, but it's still not a fully social account because of this limitation. So we're now faced with a bit of a problem. We have intrapersonal and interpersonal accounts of crowd action, but neither of these accounts is sufficient to capture the phenomenon of crowd behavior. This is because an intrapersonal account ignores the context in which the action takes place. So, for example, a protest might be seen as the result of an emotional reaction. An interpersonal account, on the other hand, takes the situational effects on individuals into account, but doesn't account for the different social positions of crowd members. So it can't really explain how keynoters can exert influence over other group members or other crowd members. So we need an account that takes social position or group membership into account. And for example, we don't enter a crowd setting bereft of the social categories we normally occupy. If you're a woman before entering a crowd, you're still probably going to be a woman when you get into the crowd. If you occupied a high social status before entering the crowd, you still occupy this within the crowd, although this would be modified in relation to other people of higher and lower status than yourself. And this affects the way that we interact with others, and it might also help us understand why in norm emergence theory, some people become keynoters and other people become bystanders. So features like social status, our values, and our beliefs are brought into interpersonal situations and have consequences for behaviors in group situations. And so these are required for building a social account of crowd action. We also need an account that takes ideology into account. By ideology, we mean that it incorporates general conceptions of social reality. So it tells us what's normal, and it also kind of tells us what we can ignore. So for an example, in South Africa, strikes and rioting have become normative. We're known as the protest nation. So we'd need to view or understand protests in South Africa differently to those in other contexts. For example, in a country like China, where protests are not the norm. Finally, we have intrapersonal accounts of crowd behavior, and we have an interpersonal account of crowd behavior. But what we need is an account that theorizes the crowd along all the dimensions, or all of these levels. So we need one that focuses on the intrapersonal, the interpersonal, the positional, and the ideological. And we need connections to be made between these levels to account for the whole phenomenon. And that doesn't mean that you have to theorize everything when you try to theorize anything, but it does mean that you need to see how one of these factors might impact on another. So for example, we might want to look at how our thoughts and perceptions are influenced by societal norms and how this might impact our actions. Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the short series of lectures, or I hope you found them informative. And please email me if you have any questions about this section of the course, or if there's anything I can clarify. I hope you enjoy the rest of the semester.